Okay, it looks like we're live again. Had another misfire there. I need to remember to, turn my Wi-Fi on and off just to make sure that it's moving fast enough to actually get through these charts somewhat well. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be checking out the charts for the evening of September the 10th. And we're going to be going through the top 100 most liquid stocks in the market to pick out the top 25 stocks that we want to have for our watch list, because that's a manageable number. So just to quickly recap today, today was a better day for me for sure. It wasn't perfect. There were some things that I'm kind of kicking myself over, but overall I can't complain about a day like today. It definitely did erase some of the poor days I've been complaining about recently. Now that doesn't mean anything because I'm trying to be a longer term trader. These gains could easily reverse on themselves and go away. That's the risk that I take by not taking profits and trying to play for a longer move. But eventually I know over time I'm going to hit some big winners, and that's what's going to take me to the next level. So, I think we can just jump right in, and we'll start with NVIDIA, which has reclaimed its 50-day line on a strong gap-up day. The Oracle earnings were probably bigger for AI than even the Broadcom earnings. It's definitely given the whole entire theme a big kick in the pants, and that caused AI to lead today. So, NVIDIA, this one, I kind of wish I would have bought it. I'm probably not going to be buying many more AI names right now because I already have probably too much put into AI right now, to be quite honest. You do want to diversify across themes, so probably not going to be picking any more AI names. So speaking of a non-AI name, we have Tesla here. It started to look really good at some point today. If it had closed at the top of this range, then I would have probably expected a gap up tomorrow. But it did reverse back down. I still think this one, if it does break this level, it's going to be flying up like gangbusters. But it remains to be seen whether or not that's going to happen. I don't think that the full self-driving is really that big of a deal, and that's kind of what this thing is moving on. So we'll just have to see what happens. Ooh, big ugly for Apple right there. Not quite sure what happened there. But yeah, that's not a good look for Apple. And then Palantir, I did take a position in Palantir today. I think I'm probably about flat on that position. This one I've been a little bit bearish on, I have to say, just because it couldn't get any kind of bounce, but Oracle earnings did ignite it somewhat. I did expect a little more of an explosion coming off this gap up, just because we ran down so quickly on this side. I kind of thought we would see us run up on this side. And, am I a little bit nervous about holding this one? I am, but you can't allow your fear of gap downs to scare you out of taking shots. Clearly this one did exit this range, and we've seen ones kind of break out of a range and start slow for the first day and then start moving up. I can think of one like GV that did a very similar thing, had a very, just a gap up where it just kind of sat there and then it went. I think maybe Hood did that as well. No, Hood actually did have some progress on its first day, but the point does remain that just because it didn't really go anywhere doesn't mean that it's not going to work. Certainly I would have liked to have a bit more cushion on this one, but I think that it's worth trying, right? If it reverses and goes down, no big deal. I'll get stopped out. I'll find something better, but certainly this one does look like it could start to move back up, so I got in on it, and we will see what happens. Amazon, ugly. AMD, an ugly reversal. Meta, an ugly reversal. So besides AI, it's looking a little bit sketchy out there, but Broadcom, a big break to the upside. I didn't want to buy this one just because it feels a little bit extended, but this one could start to really run up quick in a hurry. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. And then Alphabet, nothing wrong with this, just a nice trend for a mega cap stock. You can't be mad about that. And you have UNH. I'm not even going to spend time on this one, though it does look like it's starting to come to life. In Oracle, this was the story of the day. Ends up 35.95%. That's pretty much unheard of for a $92 billion company. It's probably going to be a $922 billion company, excuse me. This one I would assume is probably a magnet for $1 trillion. I don't think it's ever even scratched that before. No, it's not even been close to that before. So this one, yeah, I mean, you really can't say enough about this day. I don't know exactly where this is going to lead, and I haven't really gotten into the story behind this earnings. To me, it's not really the story that matters to me. It's how people react to the story, and certainly this was a shot across the bow. So probably the earnings reaction of the year so far, and definitely has catalyzed the AI sector. We'll see what happens moving forward. Hood just reversing as it tried to break into all-time highs. Not a huge surprise, I suppose. It did run up rather quickly. Maybe we can get, some downward action, then a bounce. That would be where I'd be a little more interested in this name. Then AppLovin just continuing to climb. Nothing wrong with AppLovin. Bitcoin still pretty weak. A Bitcoin theme. Netflix, this does look very good. Over this high, I think it's buyable, and this might be a good one to diversify my stuff away from AI, fast movers a little bit. So I'll be watching that one. And then Coin tried to come to life, but again, the AI theme, the Bitcoin theme, just not very, not leading the way. CoreWeave had a very good reaction, so we did see it starting to come to life, but it has a lot of repairing to be done. I would say this level right here, you might want to wait to get above this level. If it can break through this level, then yeah, I think this one is probably good to start watching, but I certainly would not, I'm not going to chase this one up personally. It's just not worth the risk, especially since I'm already overexposed to AI, but I will watch it. And then TSM following through as well. Intel not following through. It still looks pretty good, but maybe this one not as closely aligned with AI as some of the others. Then Micron, it's already been running. You can see it down a little bit after hours, so I'm not sure what the deal is. But this one looks like it wants to lead for sure. Alibaba, normal pullback, nothing wrong with that. I'm actually going to take this one off. I'm just not going to buy this gapping action. It's not worth it to me. JP Morgan looking okay. The banks look... Yeah, so this one, you can see it tried to fill this gap, and it did fill the gap successfully, but coming back into this selling area, it's starting to sell off again. This one, I would probably think this would be a better short than a long, but that's not my game, so I'm not going to play it. And then Reddit. This is the one I'm kicking myself about. I did get into Reddit earlier in the day, but right as we got to this resistance, it rejected really hard. So I just said, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and wait for this one to go all the way back down. I should have just put my low at the stop of the day. My stop at the low of the day. That would have been a better way to trade this one. And yeah, I'm just kicking myself for not holding it. There's been a lot of times that I have seen something reverse like that, and it has gone all the way back down. It's completely failed, and it's fallen apart, and I've saved myself a lot of money of getting out of those, but, certainly this one is one that did not go my way, so a little bit unfortunate, but, there's going to be more chances for this one. There's a lot of other things out there that we can get into, so I'm not going to cry about this one. And then Bank of America, the banks are looking pretty good. SoFi failed to break above this level. Now it's starting to reverse. I really feel like this one's getting pretty mature in its run. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It just means that I think that you've probably made the easiest portion of this run already. That you've probably made the easiest money you're going to make if you were in this one. So that's how I feel about that. Then GEV, this was another big winner. It did gap down because of that anti-clean energy stuff from Trump, but balancing that out with a gap up, it's back in play. Obviously, Oracle probably had some good things to say about the energy. So GEV, this one certainly looks like it's going to get back in play. I'm probably not going to own it just because I'm already overexposed to AI, but this one, it's been a leading stock for a long time. And really the only black eye on this one is the DeepSeek day. Besides that, it's pretty much moved like a perfect stock. Snowflake, pretty disappointing when a lot of the other AI names are moving higher. This one reversing back down. I did talk about how you see a lot of the same, a lot of stocks from the same theme gap up together, but sometimes the day will tell you which ones are actually following through versus which ones either stick or reverse back down. This one definitely sticking and reversing back down, so not a good look. It's not over for this one, but it's definitely not leading the charge. And then MBIS, just some volatility after that huge move, nothing wrong with this one. Then SMCI was starting to show some green shoots. It did gap up. Not breaking the low of that gap, but that reversal is certainly not looking good. This chart in general not looking good. Just kind of a mess. HIMS, I did call this as a potential short area, but I don't mess around with this stock one way or the other, so I'm just going to pass on this one. And then ANET, this really, this was nice to see. I should probably put my buy spots in on these things. I bought it on this day here, so definitely this position is starting to give me some cushion to work with that I can funnel into other things, maybe take some more risks. But, obviously I don't want to just take all these gains and blow them. But at the same time, you can see the volume really came into this one. It was really strong throughout the day. This was definitely a nice thing to see. Definitely lifted my heart a little bit. That being said, I am going to be playing this one for a longer move, hopefully. So I'm prepared for this thing to reverse all the way back down, and I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to get too high. I'm not going to get too low. I haven't locked in any profit, so really I haven't made any money yet, and I'm just going to see what happens. So this one, obviously I need to watch it since I own it. Boeing coming into the 50. Cisco getting stuck underneath its 50. A-Lab, this was another strong one. This seems like a little more of a high-octane sister stock to ANET, just some of these connectivity, peripheral type names. I'm sure CRDL is probably doing similar things as well if I had to guess. But this one, you can see, this was the day that I missed it on, and it's just continued to run up, so nothing wrong with A-Lab. This looks like it's going to be one of those stocks that doubles. Goldman Sachs, this is probably the leader of the banks, showing some strength off the interest rate stuff. Yesterday was a breakout day and it had continued strength. This one I think would be a great one to, this one I might get into it myself if we can get a pullback to a moving average, but I'm not sure how likely that's going to be. Citigroup following closely behind Goldman. Spotify, an ugly day for Spotify. I think Netflix reversed a little bit as well. Those two stocks are quite related along with DoorDash. So not a great day for Spotify there. But, it's just retesting a moving average, nothing wrong with it per se. And that's what this stock likes to do. It never gives you the cleanest trend. It likes to come back and retest frequently, which means there are opportunities to buy it on pullbacks. It's just for me personally, I'm not great at buying pullbacks. I will buy at the wrong time and then I have no conviction to hold it, so probably going to be a pass for me, but I'll keep an eye on it. Then Roblox. This one, it looks similar to Carvana even though they're completely different businesses, in that it's kind of had this blow off and then it's coming up and getting really tight and looking really good. So this one I'll certainly be watching it. I'm still a little bit skeptical because of this sell-off here, but it's somewhat in my good graces again. Lam Research, I never add this one to my watch list. It does look okay, but I just think there's better stuff in the AI space. And this one, I did pick this one out. You know, if this one started to reverse, I would have thought, you know, maybe this one a potentially good short, and it looks like even despite all the strength in AI, this one may be starting to reverse here. So potentially a shorting area if you do like to short. Just no sort of life in the Bitcoin theme. Mongo database, this one looked like it was reacting well, but it did give a lot of that back. So probably needs some more sideways digestion before this one's going to go higher. Pepsi, just really bad stuff for Pepsi. Yeah, they say that there's no company that's too big to fail or too stable to fail, and Pepsi, yeah, having a very uncharacteristic and bad drawdown, but there's no such thing as a safe stock. So let that be a lesson. G Aerospace, this one kind of moves similar to Boeing, but it is showing a lot more bullishness. I think they're trying to get into some new product areas that could catalyze some growth out of this stock. Now let me see what the market cap is. The market cap is 300 billion, so if this one really was to get into exciting new technologies and actually do it well, I can see this one making a run. 300 billion is not incredibly high. It's a huge company, obviously, but I think there's some growth possibilities there. Then we have Shopify. This one I like a lot. I've been watching it closely. It does look like it might make a trip down. It is sitting on the 20 though. Let's see if it can bounce at the 20. I would be willing to take it over this level, I think. Oklo, kind of a disappointing day. But it is maybe forming a bit of a trend line here. I'm not a trend line guy because I don't really understand how they make sense, you know, like, do trend lines really actually influence anything? But I would say if I was a trend line guy, you could probably draw like a trend line right here, and if you broke that, then maybe this one would be a good one to enter. Then Carvana, a little bit disappointing. I thought about putting a buy stop in on this one just because I wanted to watch other things, but excuse me. I'm glad that I didn't do that because this one had a failed move and it's broken to the downside now. It's still not completely down and out yet. It hasn't broken these lows, but certainly there is a lot of selling up here at all-time highs. So if this one can break through that selling, I would expect another explosive move despite how far it's already run, and it would give you some good diversification away from AI, so certainly going to be watching it, but I am a little bit skeptical of Carvana. This one's really coming to life well. VRT coming back to life as well. I think there's probably better things to have in the AI space, but no slouch this one here. And then this one moves based off of Pan W, so you can see that the reversal of Pan W affecting this one as well. KLAC, definitely a laggard in the AI space. VST, haven't seen this one in a while, but very similar to GEV. Yeah, both very strong stocks. This one, let's see. This one was actually up more, so GEV and VST do seem like the leaders. I haven't checked in on CEG to see exactly what that one's doing. I would imagine it's similar, but yeah, VST coming back to life. I probably won't buy it since I'm already in the AI space pretty heavy, but if you want to latch onto the energy theme, I think that's a very powerful theme. So, yep, this one, I don't really need to watch it, honestly, but maybe I'll just put it on, and if I have too many, I can take it off. I feel like I've been saying ugh a lot today. That's not good. So DoorDash holding up a little bit better than your Spotify and your Netflix. This one, yeah, it looks like it does want to get back into that mode of moving up higher. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on this one. I think my priorities will probably go 1 Netflix, 2 DoorDash, 3 Spotify, but this one I think has the highest relative strength, so definitely a possibility for me. Then Rocket Lab, it is starting to maybe have some of that volatility come out of it, but still I'm very skeptical of this one just because I had such a terrible reversal off of highs. I can definitely see this one making a lower high and starting to fall apart, but it is an explosive stock and an exciting theme, so we want probably to keep an eye on this one. Look at this one. Whoa. So Iron Limited, this one used to run more off Bitcoin. Now I think it's more of a data center name, more with your MBIS and your CoreWeaves of the world. This one, a little bit too volatile for me, I think, but what an explosive, fantastic move this is. Definitely more of a momentum stock, and we're getting a little bit too late because the reason it's pulling into our scan now is because the price has gone up so much that price time volume has cracked the top 100. So a little too late to the party on this one because it's not truly a liquid stock. Probably a break over these highs would have been the spot, even though you had earnings coming up, but you had this retest here. This one just a tough stock to wrangle, I would say, but certainly a momentum leader, and it might just be fun to watch. And that's it. So let's see how many we have on our list. 29, so I did say I would take off VST if we have too many. And I will also take off Mongo Database because I don't see that one. And how about we take off Oklo because I don't see myself buying Oklo. And let's take off... Well, there's probably no way I'm going to be buying Oracle up there, let's be real, but... Yeah, I don't think there's any way I'm going to be buying this one, so I'll take that off. I think one more needs to come off. SoFi, I would not be buying SoFi. There's no chance, so... But what else could we take off instead? I'm not going to be buying AI names, so I do want to take off an AI name. I'll take off Snow. So that should be 25 stocks. That's our... Oh my goodness, I went too far with it. Who cares? None of those stocks I'm going to be buying, so why even jam up the watch list with an extra stock? So that is going to be the 24 stocks I'm going to be watching. So that's it for this one. I thank you guys for watching. And I will just let this run for a moment so it doesn't stop early, but I will see you in the next one. So thank you.